as the offense of felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
The dispatcher's voice is calm, professional.
So you couldn't get a tag number?
No, but I'm catching up to him right now.
Okay, ma'am, we actually do not want you to chase him. I want you guys to go back to the location where it happened, and an officer will be out there momentarily, okay? Ma'am.
Okay, ma'am, we actually do not want you to chase him. We just want you to be safe. Hannah Payne responds, I understand 100%. Then, seconds later, he is drunk. I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm here to tell you I'm not going to follow him. She was warned 4 times. 4 separate moments where a 911 dispatcher told 21-year-old Hannah Payne to stop, to turn around, to let the police handle it. 4 times she refused. The 911 audio captures what happened next. Hannah screaming, "Get out of the car! Get out of the fucking car!" Then a single gunshot. Then silence. And then the dispatcher's voice again. Ma'am, you were not supposed to follow him.
Ma'am!
Yes.
Ma'am! He just pulled the trigger of my gun in my hand while he was...
Ma'am, you were not supposed to follow him.
He hit my car!
Prosecutor Nigel Hunter would later tell the jury, you don't get the death penalty for committing a traffic infraction.
And you don't get the death penalty for committing a traffic infraction.
Kenneth Herring was 62 years old, a grandfather, a mechanic, a husband of decades. On the evening of May 7th, 2019, he was experiencing a diabetic emergency behind the wheel of his father's old pickup truck. He ran a red light. He hit a semi-truck. No one was injured. For that traffic violation, Hannah Payne appointed herself judge, jury, and executioner. Before we tell you how Kenneth Herring died, you need to know how he lived. Kenneth was born into a family of 6 children. He was the big brother, the one who looked out for the younger kids, the one who left silly jokes on his sister Jacqueline's answering machine just to make her laugh. The one everyone called when something broke, because Kenneth could fix anything. His wife Christine described him to reporters as a hard-working man.
As a hard-working man, a good grandfather, a good husband, he was just a good person all around.
And what did he do? What was his...
He did a lot of things. He was a mechanic, he did air conditioning, he did a little bit of everything. He wasn't a master of none, but, he did everything.
Very talented with his hands.
Yeah, right.
A good grandfather, a good husband, just a good person all around. He worked as a mechanic, an air conditioning repairman, a handyman. Christine called him a master of none who did everything very well. If your car broke down, Kenneth would fix it. If your AC went out in a Georgia summer, Kenneth would have you cool by dinner. The truck he drove that night had belonged to his father. The bed was filled with tools from his various trades, wrenches, screwdrivers, AC equipment, everything a working man needed. But there was something else in that truck, something that explained everything about May 7th. Insulin needles. Kenneth Herring was diabetic. He required regular injections to manage his blood sugar. When levels drop too low, diabetics can experience what doctors call hypoglycemic shock. The symptoms can be terrifying to anyone who doesn't recognize them. Confusion, disorientation, slurred speech, erratic behavior. To an untrained observer, it looks exactly like intoxication. Christine told reporters she knew immediately what had happened. I know he was having a diabetic episode, she said.
And I know he was having a diabetic episode because he don't just run off the scene. I knew he was trying to get to the hospital.
Because he don't just run off the scene. I knew he was trying to get to a hospital. On the evening of May 7th, 2019, Kenneth wasn't drunk. He wasn't fleeing justice. He was a 62-year-old, grandfather in the middle of a medical emergency, trying desperately to get himself to Southern Regional Medical Center. He never made it. At sentencing, his sister, Vicki Lynn Herring, addressed the court.
I would like the court to know and understand that I no longer have a big brother. He called me Biscuit Head all my life because from a little kid, every time my mom would get up every morning to make fresh biscuits, I would be there. As the baby, I got the first one. And so as I got older, and in my adulthood, he would then just call me Biscuit. I won't get to hear that anymore. We won't get to laugh at him because he couldn't dance, but he tried. And we won't get to reminisce about all the times, having grown up in the South. My mother would make copious amounts of sweet tea, and he would drink it all and leave a corner and put the pitcher back in the refrigerator. We won't get to do that. No more Christmas. No more birthdays. No more family gatherings. His grandchildren won't know him.
No more Christmas, no more birthdays, no more family gatherings, she said. His grandchildren won't know him. There were 6 of us. Now there's the 5 of us that are left. The Herring 6 became the Herring 5 on Mother's Day weekend 2019, because a stranger with a gun decided Kenneth Herring's life was hers to take. Hannah Payne was 21 years old in May 2019. She had no criminal record. She worked in property management, showing vacant apartments to prospective tenants and collecting rent. It was a job that sometimes required her to meet strangers alone, sometimes in empty buildings. That's why she said she carried a gun. She had a concealed carry license, a semi-automatic 9mm pistol holstered on her right hip. She went to the gun range regularly, but, by her own admission, she had never drawn that weapon outside of practice. Not once. Until May 7th, 2019. During the trial, prosecutors highlighted something Hannah said during her testimony, something that revealed who she saw herself as. I mean, not that it has anything to do with it, she told the jury. But my entire life until I was 18 and my grandfather passed away, I was going to be a police officer. She wanted to be a cop. She saw herself as someone who enforced the rules, someone with authority, someone who had the right to tell other people what to do.
I mean, not that it has anything to do with it, but my entire life until I was 18 and my grandfather passed away, I was going to be a police officer. And on May 7th, 2019, she got her opportunity.
Her mother defended her to reporters after her arrest. She does not see color, Margaret Payne said. She sees right and she sees wrong.
I'm speechless. I'm just so glad, that it went that way. I mean, we're sorry for what happened and everything in regards to Mr. Herring's family and everything, but Hannah is not the person that they are saying she is. She's not at all. She's the sweetest, most caring, does not see colour, does not see race, nothing at all. She is just an amazing human being. She is. And if you ever get the chance to know her, you'll realize that as soon as you lay eyes on her.
Right and wrong, black and white, no gray areas, no room for a 62-year-old man having a medical emergency, no room for confusion, no room for mercy. The prosecutor would later ask the jury a simple question. Do you know how much audacity you have to chase somebody down, detain them, jump out of your car, and run toward a stranger?
And you know how much entitlement you have to chase somebody down, detain them, jump out your car, and run toward a stranger? He didn't know her. He didn't know why she was approaching his car, and demand that they do anything.
On May 7th, 2019, Hannah Payne finally got her chance to play cop. It would cost Kenneth Herring his life. May 7th, 2019, a Tuesday evening, rush hour near Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Traffic was backed up. Frustrated drivers were being rerouted through surface streets, horns honking. Temper's short, the kind of evening where everyone just wants to get home. Terry Robinson was one of those drivers. He was a Georgia Department of Corrections officer, off-duty, heading home after a long shift. He worked in the infirmary at a state prison. He had medical training. He knew what a medical emergency looked like. As he drove down Clark Howell Highway, something caught his attention. A red Dodge Dakota pickup truck ran through a red light at approximately 6:00 p.m. It slammed into an 18-wheeler. The collision was minor. The semi-driver emerged unharmed. Another driver, nearby, Hannah Payne, was untouched. Her black Jeep Wrangler was never hit. She pulled over as a witness, not a victim. And the man in the pickup truck? Kenneth Herring climbed out, dazed but physically uninjured. But something was clearly wrong. Robinson told the court what he observed. Herring's eyes were glassy. He was disoriented. He kept asking, "What happened? Who hit me? What's going on?"
Now, can you tell us what happened during that vehicle collision on Clark Howell in Forest Park?
As we were approaching the light was green. The vehicles were turning to the left, and the truck I know was turning right. All of a sudden, I seen this maroon vehicle come, bam, hit the side of the truck. It lifted up, came to a stop. When I was approaching, coming down, I saw the maroon vehicle, and I saw the gentleman kind of slump over a little bit. That's what made me pull over to see if he was okay. Then when I got the car, that's when I asked the gentleman, "Is he okay?" Then the truck driver came up next, and then we just basically making sure the gentleman was okay. That's when I called 911.
Now, when you made contact with the driver in the maroon truck, what were your observations of him physically?
Physically, the scene that he was, again, out of it. Like I said, I noticed his eyes were glassy. In fact, again, again, not being a professional, a doctor or anything, just saying that, was he going through a diabetic situation or whatever? I didn't smell any alcohol on him. On that sort, but I just noted that the gentleman was, out of it.
So you didn't smell any alcohol?
No, I did not.
Robinson recognized the symptoms immediately. This wasn't a drunk driver. This was a man in medical distress. Confusion, disorientation, glassy eyes, classic signs of diabetic shock. Robinson called 911 to report the accident.
Clayton County 911, what's the location?
Hey, we have an accident up here by Clark Howell and Forest Parkway. A truck, unfortunately, with a vehicle.
What kind of truck is it?
It's a semi-tractor trailer, and it is a pickup truck, red Dakota.
20 minutes passed. No police arrived. No ambulance. Kenneth paced around his smoking truck, clearly confused about what had happened. Then, without warning, he got back in his truck and drove away. Robinson called out to the others to photograph the license plate, but Hannah Payne did more than that. She got behind the wheel of her Jeep. And the chase began. The 911 call tells the whole story. Hannah reported that the driver who caused the accident appeared drunk and was trying to leave. The dispatcher asked if she could get a tag number. Hannah's response, "No, but I'm catching up to him right now."
So you couldn't get a tag number?
No, but I'm catching up to him right now.
Okay, ma'am, we actually do not want you to chase him. I want you guys to go back to the location where it happened, and an officer will be out there momentarily, okay?
The dispatcher was clear. "Okay, ma'am, we actually do not want you to chase him. We just want you to be safe." Hannah said she understood. "I understand 100%, she told the dispatcher.
I understand 100%. I'm just gonna get the tag number.
She kept driving. The dispatcher tried again, telling Hannah that officers were on their way to the accident scene and asking her to return there.
Okay. So, if you can go back to that location where the incident happened, and because someone is actually on the way to you guys now.
So I will stay behind him until an officer can get to us, but until then, I'm not moving.
Hannah refused. "He is drunk. I'm not," she said. "I'm sorry, but I'm here to tell you I'm not going to follow him because he is going to cause an accident. So I will stay behind him until an officer can get to us."
he is drunk, I'm sorry, but I'm here to tell you I'm not going to follow him because he is going to cause another accident.
During the trial, prosecutors showed Hannah the 911 transcript, line by line, warning by warning. The prosecutor asked directly, "The dispatcher for a fourth time indicated to you that she wanted you to return to the incident location, correct?" Hannah claimed she couldn't remember. "If you're asking me if I remember word for word what I said 4.5 years ago," she said, "I cannot say that I do." She claimed she only heard one warning. She claimed the dispatcher's instructions were unclear. Then the prosecution played the tape.
Hey, we have an accident up here by Clock House and Forest Parkway. Clock House and Forest Parkway. It's a truck. Unfortunately, hit a vehicle, and I'm looking at the guy now. He's pretty good. He's moving and everything. But we had a truck that had an incident with a vehicle. Clock House and Forest Parkway.
What kind of truck is it?
It's a semi-tractor trailer, and it's a pickup truck.
A red Dakota?
Yes, red Dakota.
Okay, does it say that you want to start an insert?
Her own voice, crystal clear, saying, "I understand 100%, then immediately refusing to comply. 1 mile from the original crash, Hannah made her move. She pulled her Jeep directly in front of Kenneth's damaged pickup truck, blocking him in the roadway. Then she stepped out of her car. Witness Tayuna McCraney told the court what she saw. "It caught my attention because it was really aggressive," she testified. "I thought it was just road rage at the time. Then a woman got out of the car and she said, 'Get the F out of the truck.' She wasn't asking, she was demanding."
I was in the lane closest to that little, divider. That's where the crosswalk is.
You can get down at point 2 to explain.
I was coming down here in this little area right here. It was like a pickup truck right there, and a Jeep came and ran over this little spot and blocked him. And blocked him from driving, so he abruptly braked. And it caught my attention because it was really aggressive. I thought it was just road rage at the time. And then a woman popped out of the car and she said, "Get the F out of the truck," to him a bunch of times. And she pulled out a gun, and I remember there was a lot of traffic, so we couldn't really move, and people started honking to get the heck out of the way. And I remember her back was to me because I was really close to them, and I didn't really have anywhere to go. I was blocked in.
21-year-old woman with no badge, no authority, and a gun on her hip, screaming at a 62-year-old grandfather to get out of his vehicle. Kenneth Herring, confused and disoriented from his diabetic episode, had no idea who this woman was or why she was screaming at him. What happened next took less than 60 seconds. The 911 audio captured Hannah screaming, "Get out of the car! Get out of the fucking car! I will shoot you!" Then a single gunshot. Then Hannah's voice again, breathless. "He just pulled the trigger of my gun in my hand." And the dispatcher's response, "Ma'am, you were not supposed to follow him."
Ma'am!
Yes.
Ma'am! He just pulled the trigger of my gun in my hand while he was...
Ma'am,
I need a police
you were not
officer
supposed
now.
to follow him.
He hit my car!
The fourth warning came too late. Kenneth Herring had been shot in the abdomen. He was still sitting in his truck. He had never gotten out. He had never presented a weapon. He was unarmed. And Hannah Payne was already working on her story. Clayton County Police arrived to find chaos. Kenneth Herring slumped in his driver's seat, bleeding from a gunshot wound to his abdomen. Hannah Payne standing nearby, gun in hand. The body camera footage shows the officer asking who shot him. Hannah stepped forward and handed over the weapon without hesitation. "I did it," she said. She was calm, composed.
Who shot him?
She told officers she was overwhelmed and scared and didn't really know what was going on. Then she said something that would echo through the courtroom 4 years later. Clearly, Hannah told the officer, trying to do the right thing is not the right answer.
I pulled out and I told you that I would shoot him. And he was so sweet. He told me to do it. He grabbed me, my hand, where I had my gun, where I had my gun in that hand. He pulled me to him. And I'm pulling away, pulling against my finger. I didn't want to pull the trigger. He didn't have anything in his hand now. I can clearly see he doesn't have his gun. Wouldn't have anything on it. But we grabbed my hand and we're going back and forth in the car. And he's pulling it, he's turning it toward me. And he grabbed it. And the next thing I knew, it went off.
She already saw herself as the victim. She already had her narrative. Good Samaritan. Wrong place, wrong time. Self-defense. But the witnesses saw something different. One witness described Hannah as being almost like she was in a rage, very highly upset. Cameron Williams, a truck driver who recorded the confrontation on his phone, told the court what he witnessed.
What did you observe? I mean, obviously you didn't know her name at the time, but what did you observe happening that drew your attention?
I just seen her outside hitting on his window or his car door, and that's what made me just pull out my phone.
Okay. And describe what you see as far as where is Miss Payne standing when you see her?
Well, her back is towards me, so I didn't see her face or anything, but she was actually standing at the guy's driver door. That's what I saw.
And what did you see her doing at that driver's door?
Yelling, hitting on the window, hitting on the door, whatever she was doing.
From your angle?
From my angle.
It appeared that she was hitting on either the window or the door.
Yes.
I just seen her outside hitting on his car door, he said. Yelling, hitting on window, hitting on the door. Ashley Jackson's testimony was consistent. She was at Herring's driver's side door yelling obscenities, very aggressive.
What happened as you turned off of Atlanta South Parkway onto Forest Parkway on May 7, 2019?
I was getting off work. As I was approaching Forest Parkway, I was making a left off Atlanta South Parkway. As I was making my left and getting into the far right lane, Miss Hannah was coming up Forest Parkway. She was coming from the end off of Highway 85, and she almost ran me off the road. She was speeding. She was going very fast. When she almost ran me off the road, my coworker actually called me and was like, "That car almost ran you off the road." And I said, "Yeah, she's probably going to cause an accident." So I proceeded up Forest Parkway. She was weaving in and out of traffic. Once I got towards Riverdale Road, I saw Miss Payne had caused the accident.
Now, when you say she was weaving in and out of traffic, were you the only car that she almost ran off the road?
The right lane really didn't even have any cars in that lane, but she was still going like left, right, making other cars hit their brakes.
Now, as you got closer to Riverdale Road, when you said you saw that she caused an accident, can you explain to the jury what you actually saw?
As I got to Riverdale Road, traffic was everywhere. Well, traffic was stopped. It was just one of those days that it was just very busy. There was already something going on at the highway. People were out walking all over the place. And she had maneuvered her car in front of another vehicle and stopped them and caused the scene.
Now, do you recall if they actually collided at the point that you saw?
I don't really believe they actually collided. I'm not sure. I don't want to say something that I didn't see.
And once you saw the defendant's vehicle cornering the other vehicle, what did you, if anything, did you see her do?
I saw her at the driver's side door of the vehicle, yelling obscenities for the man to get out the car. It looks like she was trying to fight him through the window.
And what was her demeanor at this time?
Very aggressive. Very aggressive.
Every single witness described Hannah as the aggressor. Every single witness said she was yelling, cursing, striking Kenneth's truck. Not one witness saw Kenneth attack her first. Kenneth was rushed to the hospital. He was pronounced dead within the hour, and the toxicology report came back. No alcohol, no drugs, nothing. Kenneth Herring wasn't drunk. He was diabetic. Everything Hannah claimed was a lie. On the fourth day of trial, Hannah took the stand in her own defense. It was a gamble, and it would destroy her. Hannah told the jury that Kenneth had attacked her first. He reached out and kind of hit my phone out and grabbed my wrist, she testified.
Apparently I was close enough for him to reach out the car, and he knocked my phone out of my hand, and he grabbed me by my wrist, and he pulled me into the vehicle.
When he grabbed my wrist, we kind of started going back and forth fighting, and that's when he punched the gas and he ran into my tire. According to Hannah, Kenneth was the aggressor. He grabbed her, pulled her toward his truck, hit the gas and dragged her, reached for something in his vehicle. She testified that Kenneth said, "I got something for you," implying a threat.
He was pulling my wrist, and he pulled me in the vehicle, and he kept yelling at me, telling me, "I have something for you," and he used, I have something for you, bitch." And he's leaning, and he's reaching, and he's pulling, and at this point, I remember that I'm sorry.
So then that's what made me think, yeah, okay, I got something for you, Hannah told the jury, and that's when I pulled it out. She claimed she announced she had a gun. She claimed she warned him she would shoot. She claimed Kenneth then grabbed the weapon and pulled the trigger himself. But there was a problem with her story. The gun. The detective demonstrated for the jury that the weapon was a semi-automatic 9mm with a double safety feature. A trigger safety on the back of the handle must first be engaged by a firm grip. Then a finger must be placed inside the trigger guard and pulled.
How did he have your wrist? Like this?
This hand was here, yes.
Okay. And the gun was here, and he's pulling you forward.
Yes.
And you said he had you here
But
on this?
he was closer.
All right. So, and he had your shoulder with this hand, or what was this hand doing?
That he let go.
He let go.
Once he got a hold of this wrist.
So he came.
And he grabbed the gun.
All right, you tried to grab the gun like this?
Correct.
Okay. And where was your finger?
The same way that I have it now.
And when he grabbed like this, that shows his fingers are right there over the trigger?
Correct.
Is that a correct?
I mean, yes. But
so it's possible any of the 4 digits got into that trigger?
Correct.
Like that? Okay, thanks.
This wasn't a gun that fired accidentally. This wasn't a gun that could go off during a struggle unless someone deliberately pulled the trigger. And then the cross-examination destroyed her. The prosecutor confronted Hannah with the 911 transcript, pointing out that the dispatcher warned her 4 times. Hannah claimed she couldn't remember, saying, "If you're asking me if I remember word for word what I said 4.5 years ago, I cannot say that I do." Then came the question that sealed her fate. The prosecutor asked, "This could have been avoided if you had not introduced a gun into this incident, correct?" Hannah's answer, "I introduced the gun to try to save my life." To save her life. From a confused 62-year-old diabetic grandfather who never left his vehicle, who never presented a weapon, who was shot while sitting in his driver's seat. In closing arguments, prosecutor Nigel Hunter laid it out plainly. 62-year-old Kenneth Herring, who was unarmed and minding his own business, was chased down, detained, shot, and murdered by this defendant. The audacity to come here and take that stand and blame everybody else. Hannah Payne was initially charged with murder. She made a $100,000 bond and was released. But when a grand jury brought additional charges, her bond was revoked. She was rearrested. Then came the delays. The COVID-19 pandemic shut down courts across Georgia. The trial was delayed indefinitely. then delayed again, then again. In November 2022, a trial date was finally set. Then, on the morning it was supposed to begin, Hannah's defense attorney, Matt Tucker, didn't show up. He claimed he'd been hospitalized. The judge found him in contempt. Another delay. The NAACP called the delays deeply concerning. Georgia NAACP President Gerald Griggs said they were shocked and appalled this happened in Clayton County. Members of the local chapter sat in on the trial to support the Herring family and ensure the process was fair. Civil rights activists drew comparisons to another high-profile Georgia case. In 2020, Ahmaud Arbery was chased down and killed by 3 white men in Georgia who claimed they were making a citizen's arrest. In 2021, Georgia became the first state in America to repeal its citizen's arrest law, a Civil War-era statute that had been used to justify vigilante violence for over 150 years. Finally, in December 2023, Hannah Payne's trial began. The Herring family had waited 1,680 days for justice. Prosecutor Bonnie Smith set the tone in her opening statement. On May 7th of 2019, she told the jury, defendant Hannah Renee Payne had the audacity to chase, corner, detain, assault, shoot, and kill an unarmed 62-year-old Kenneth Herring, who was sitting in his own car, all because she didn't like his driving.
On May the 7th of 2019, defendant Hannah Renee Payne had the audacity to chase, corner, detain, assault, shoot, and kill an unarmed 62-year-old Kenneth Herring who was sitting in his own car.
Audacity. The prosecution used that word over and over throughout the trial. It became their theme. Defense attorney Matt Tucker offered a different narrative. She's a young individual trying to help out, he said. She hasn't seen the bad sides of life. No good deed goes unpunished. The defense.
So she's following this car, not knowing, not understanding what could happen, because she's never been in it. She's 21 years old, never been in a situation like that. In her mind, she's a young individual trying to help out. She hasn't seen the bad sides. Heard the old phrase, no good deed goes unpunished. So she's trying to assist, and in doing so, she's hanging back enough to get the tag. And she does, and she reports it to him.
Painted Hannah as naive, young, well-intentioned, a good Samaritan who found herself in a terrible situation. But witness after witness told a different story. Shakonda Rosser broke down on the stand as she described what she witnessed. I kept saying to myself, I hope you don't shoot him, she testified through tears. And when I heard the gunshot, you just see the look on his face.
She got out of her Jeep and she immediately went to the truck driver's side, yelling and punching.
Could you see anything about the facial expressions or anything like that on the driver of the truck?
He looked confused and shocked. So I figured something was wrong with him. She was pointing the gun at him, telling him to get out the car. And I think she got a little frustrated because he wasn't getting out the car.
Could you describe the demeanor of the woman with the gun?
At what point?
Let's start when she first gets out of the Jeep. What do you see?
Anger. She was like, it's almost like she was in a rage. Very highly upset.
The jury retired to deliberate at 5 p.m. on December 12, 2023. 90 minutes later, they returned. The speed of the deliberation told its own story. Less than 2 hours for 8 felony counts. The court clerk read the verdict. Count 1, malice murder, guilty. Hannah's face fell. She began to cry. Count 2, felony murder, guilty. The Herring family held each other in the gallery. Guilty, 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 guilty. All 8 counts, malice murder. 2 counts of felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment. 3 counts of possession of...
Mr. Foreperson, if you would go ahead and read the verdict.
With regard to count 1, as to the offense of malice murder, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 2, as to the offense of felony murder, we the jury find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 3, as to the offense of aggravated assault, we the jury find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 4, as the offense of felony murder, we the jury find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 5, as the offense of false imprisonment, we the jury find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 6, as to the offense of possession of firearm during commission of a felony, we the jury find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 7, as to the offense of possession of firearm during commission of a felony, we the jury find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 8, as to the offense of possession of firearm during commission of a felony, we the jury find the defendant guilty.
Firearm during commission of a felony. Hannah Payne sobbed as she was led away in handcuffs. Outside the courtroom, the Herring family spoke to reporters. Vicki Herring described the moment she heard the first guilty verdict. "I knew I wasn't supposed to show signs," she said. "But tears just started rolling down my face because at that moment, I felt a relief that came over me."
Only that at this time, we are at peace right now. The jury did what they were supposed to do. They heard all of the evidence. They saw all of the evidence, and they came back with a swift verdict. And when I heard the first verdict, I know we wasn't supposed to show sign, but tears started rolling down my face because at that moment, I felt a relief that came over me.
Jacqueline Herring added, "We are at peace right now. The jury did what they were supposed to do." 3 days after the verdict, Hannah returned for sentencing. The Herring family finally had their moment to speak. Vicki Lynn. Herring addressed the court first. "No more Christmas, no more birthdays, no more family gatherings," she said. "His grandchildren won't know him."
I would like the court to know and understand that I no longer have a big brother. He called me Biscuit Head all my life because from a little kid, every time my mom would get up every morning to make fresh biscuits, I would be there. As the baby, I got the first one. And so as I got older, and in my adulthood, he would then just call me Biscuit. I won't get to hear that anymore. We won't get to laugh at him because he couldn't dance, but he tried. And we won't get to reminisce about all the times having grown up in the South. My mother would make copious amounts of sweet tea, and he would drink it all and leave a corner and put the pitcher back in the refrigerator. We won't get to do that. No more Christmas. No more birthdays. No more family gatherings. His grandchildren won't know him.
Jacqueline Herring spoke next. "I can't call him if I wanted to," she told the judge. "I can't visit him if I wanted to. I can go to the gravesite, but he can't respond." She paused, then looked directly at Hannah. "The same sentence that she gave him," Jacqueline said. "I would like to see the same sentence given to her."
I can't call him if I wanted to. I can't visit him if I wanted to. I can go to the gravesite, but he can't respond. Do I want to go to the gravesite? No, I don't. I would prefer him being here. I would prefer him coming around. I would prefer him calling me with jokes and leaving them on my answering machine like he normally do. But I don't have that anymore.
And what is your opinion as you sit here today regarding sentencing in this case?
As I think about it, knowing that I can't see him again, I would like for her to have the same thing. He got a life sentence that he did not ask for. As I watched her leaving out, and she was crying as she was going through those doors. That's the same way I felt when they closed that casket.
Keith Herring, Kenneth's brother, described the day he learned his brother was dead. On that particular day, the way that I found out this incident had taken place, I'll never forget it, he said. It will forever be ingrained in my heart and in my mind. My life from that point has never been the same.
I would like to say on May 7th, 2019, I had no idea that when I called my brother, that I would be inundated with phone calls from law enforcement from Clayton County, Georgia. I immediately panicked and feared the worst. I had no intention on answering those calls due to fear. I answered the phone by mistake and told the gentleman what county I lived in. And within 5 minutes, my wife called me and told me there was a deputy at the house to see me. My life from that point has never been the same. The following day, I found myself repeating to my wife, I do not know how I'm going to tell my parents or explain to them how this happened. And they had been deceased for years. Never again will I be able to hear him say, "Hey you, get off my mountain." At 53 years old today, I know what he was talking about now. But the defendant took him off of his cloud. The defense attorney in this case attempted to paint my brother as a nobody. He was nothing. It was just good intentions gone bad. He's a drug user, could have been a drug dealer, could have been anything but an innocent man. But one thing about this situation that I would like the court and you to know, Judge, that Kenneth Herring, he wasn't heavy. He was my brother. And on we go. Thank you.
Judge Jewel C. Scott delivered the sentence. For count 1, malice murder, life in prison with the possibility of parole, plus 8 years consecutive for false imprisonment, plus 5 years consecutive for the weapons charge, life, plus 13 years. Hannah Payne will be nearly 70 years old before she's eligible for parole.
This court has sat through the trial, has heard arguments of defense and the state, has listened to the witnesses today, and after considering all of those things, the court will impose sentence as follows. Please stand, Ms. Payne. With respect to count 1, malice murder, the court will impose a sentence of life with the possibility of parole. With respect to count 2, felony murder, that will merge into count 1 and is dismissed as a matter of law. With respect to count 3, aggravated assault, that merges into counts 1 and 2. With respect to count 4, felony murder, that merges into count 1 and it is dismissed as a matter of law. With respect to count 5, the false imprisonment verdict, the court imposes a sentence of 8 years consecutive. With respect to count 6, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, the court imposes a sentence of 5 years that will run consecutive to the underlying sentence. Count 7 and 8 will merge into count 6. So the court's total sentence is life with the possibility of parole plus 8 years consecutive on the false imprisonment and 5 years consecutive on the possession of firearm during the commission of a felony. And that is the court's sentence.
Kenneth Herring never made it to 63. After sentencing, District Attorney Tasha Mosley spoke to reporters. In our mind, when you look at 43 years and you're 25 years old, all the good years are gone, she said. Mosley reflected on the 4 years her office spent preparing for trial. We sat in our office for 4 years. We were having these discussions and trying to figure out why, she said. Only Hannah Payne knows why she did it. We will never know because she never really told us the truth on the stand. That story kept changing.
So, you know, in our mind, when you look at 43 years and you're 25, all of the good years are gone. Your good years, your most productive years in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s, they're gone. She's gonna be sitting in somebody's prison, you know, and we're looking at approximately 68, 70 years old coming out. Not saying that 68 or 70 years old, because I'm closer to that age then, but that's a time in life when you're starting to slow down and you've lived your life, you've had your family, you've had your kids, you've hung out with your friends, you've done all the stupid things that you're allowed to do. And you sit back at age of 70 and you reflect on that with your friends and you have those memories. Well, her memories will be of prison. I think people are under the misconception that it was race. We never, ever brought race into this matter. As I told y'all when she was convicted the other night, that was too simple to say that it was black and white. You know, we sat in our office for 4 years. We were having these discussions and trying to figure out why. Only Hannah Payne knows why she did it. But the fact that the certain things that we knew she had an African-American boyfriend, you know? So that automatically throws out, you know, hate out there, you know, race. She only knows, you know, why she did it. We've talked about class division, you know, Bonnie and I were sitting there talking about maybe it's because of she was here and she thought he was there because of the truck and the condition of the truck and stuff. We will never know. We will never know because she never really told us the truth on the stand. That story kept changing.
Why did Hannah Payne chase Kenneth Herring? Why did she ignore 4 warnings from a 911 dispatcher? Why did she pull a gun on a confused grandfather having a medical emergency? We will never know. What we do know is this. On Mother's Day weekend 2019, a family lost their patriarch. A wife lost her husband. Children lost their father. Grandchildren lost their grandfather. Kenneth Herring was a mechanic who could fix anything, a handyman who never said no when someone needed help, a big brother who left silly jokes on answering machines, a grandfather who should have lived to see his grandchildren grow up. He was shot dead 1 mile from where his truck broke down, by a stranger, for running a red light. The dispatcher's words echo. Ma'am, you were not supposed to follow him. 4 warnings. 4 chances to stop.
Ma'am!
Yes.
Ma'am! He just pulled the trigger of my gun in my hand while he was...
Ma'am, you were not supposed to follow him.
He hit my car!
4 moments where Hannah Payne could have turned around, gone home, and let the police handle it. She chose differently. Kenneth Herring died on May 7, 2019. He was 62 years old. Hannah Payne is serving her sentence at a Georgia State Correctional Facility. She will be eligible for parole in 2066. She will be 68 years old. In May 2021, Georgia repealed its citizen's arrest law following the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Kenneth Herring's family has asked for privacy as they continue to heal. The Herring 5 will always remember the Herring 6, and Kenneth Herring will never be forgotten.